Ooh,
Is that the right camera now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good morning. Okay. I need more coffee, just so you know.
Oh, there's not much left.
I'll finish what I have. It's fine. You can have the rest. Holy, it's bright in here. All right.
New surroundings.
Yeah. Holy, is it ever bright? Oh my God. Whoa. All right.
So.
Are you ready?
Good morning.
Good.
Not too loud.
Sorry, I can't be loud today. Good morning, humanity. Ding. That's a different light when you get closer. All right, we're here. Hi, guys. Hello. Hello. We're in a completely different place today. Oh, the lights just changed. That's interesting how the lights are working. Anyway, all right. Okay. Oh, you are going to give me more.
Why not?
That's nice. It's very nice of you.
That's usually just a touch.
Just a touch of coffee. Good morning, Marianne. Good to see you here. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. We're a little.
So some new surroundings today. We're at our friend Gerald and Marjorie's.
Yeah. We just kind of imposed ourselves onto them this morning. We just happened to be in their area, and Kevin's like, let's go see Gerald and Marjorie.
Yeah, we haven't seen them in a while, so.
And by the way, we want to film our show while we're visiting you. That's really what it's about. That's what happened.
We're making arrangements, but I think we're going to be going down to once a week.
Yeah.
For you fine folks.
Thank you, Marianne. Very nice of you. Good morning, Lori. Good morning. Please let us know if you can hear us okay, because we're trying to keep our voices down because somebody's sleeping downstairs. Yeah.
And Lori, we have a present for you.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What?
It came to us yesterday, the day before.
Well, anywho's, yeah. So here we are. So admittedly, we don't really have anything planned for this morning. Oh, Marla.
Oh, wow.
Look Marla is tuning in from India. Hello. That's awesome. That's her sister-in-law. She's tuning in from India. They're on vacation in India from Fiji. Can you imagine needing a vacation from Fiji? Like, I don't know. I just think that's a little bit.
Yeah.
It's only like -4 here, but -12 with the wind chill.
I think we've had enough of winter.
Already. We've only had winter for a week, you guys, and we're already like so over it. How did we live in Canada all these years? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I see I have to go in and out to get comments. Got to love the censorship. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's why it's time to come to a new platform.
Yeah. Yeah, no more of that foolishness.
That's right.
It's only -25 in most parts of Alberta. Oh no. No. It's just,
that's like unacceptable.
It's far too early in the winter for -25. That's just wrong on every level. Totally wrong.
That shouldn't be.
Burr is right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Kevin,
that's like, I guess
God, your eye really is Kevin's having an allergic response
to new cats here. So
yeah, we just kind of landed here literally like a less
but
than
-25 is like an indoor day. Yeah. An indoor day for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
That's an indoor cuddle up with like 3 layers of clothes.
Work on the computer day.
Yeah. Yeah. The only problem with that concept is we'll oftentimes go to a local coffee shop here it's called The Habit, the local shop but it's at the Urban Abbey. And welcome Uttarakhand. Oh, Hamant is here.
Oh, excellent.
Wow. We have 2 people from India today.
Special day today.
Wow. Marla, I'm loving a little bit of the chill here. Night times hover around 0. It's a lovely break from the heat and humidity of Fiji. Yep. Very true.
Yeah. It's rough going.
Yeah.
and it, like Mexico, I mean, that's definitely is kind of looking good right now.
We are in Kumun. Oh, okay. Cool. Well, that's so neat. We have 2 people that are in India today watching. I love it. Love it.
Great.
Namaste.
Always.
I have to. That's what I do.
Always.
Yes.
Hmm.
Every time we see an Indian here locally,
No, every time she sees.
every time I see an Indian here locally, I have to go talk to them
That's right.
and ask them where they're from. Their first response is always,
Oh, from India.
From India. Well, yes. Okay. I know you're
let's
from
narrow
India.
that down a
Yeah.
little bit.
But which part of India? Oh, the north, or oh, the south. And it's like, okay, but which state? And they just kind of look at you like, you know what a state is in India? Like, what?
It's quite funny, actually.
Yeah. So then
it's amazing.
It's like
people,
this. It's like you have to take them down layer by layer by layer, and then they finally say the place where they are, and I go, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah."
People wouldn't normally think that white folks in Canada would actually know Indian geography.
Right.
Like, we're not like super experts.
No, but we have a clue.
A little bit
right?
of a clue.
I mean, we did spend 9 months there, and Kevin did grow up there, so I mean, we have a clue, just like Marla does. Marla's lived in India for lots of years, so she knows India very well. But anyway, yeah. So I just like to strike up conversations with our Indian fellows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're not, so we're not entirely sure what we're talking about today, but it's
yeah.
But it's about creating rapport with people, right?
I think so. Yeah.
You know, and if you can do that, then you can start opening doors of conversation.
Yeah.
Right. So rapport is about trying to find
a similarity, basically, something familiar.
How are we in common?
Yeah.
Versus how we are different.
Actually, because we have a few people watching, yeah, it's a conversation coffee day. It is a conversation coffee day. And I actually, like we said last time, I do wish you guys were actually on screen. So we do have to do some over a webinar format so that we can actually see you guys. No, but we can actually do Zoom stuff over this StreamYard platform and still have it live streamed. So yeah, this is what we're paying for, Kevin. We're not maximizing the use of it, you guys. So we'll do webinar platform or webinar format sometime and still be able to live stream it so we can actually see you guys. I think that'd be so fun. So we're going to do that. But what were we talking about just now? Rapport. Oh, rapport. So I'm just curious if anyone on here who's listening any of you know what rapport actually is without Googling it. I want to know if you guys know what rapport is. I don't know what the actual definition of rapport is, but we teach it. We teach about rapport, but I'm just curious if anyone knows what it is. What is rapport? R-A-P-P-O-R-T. Maybe I could comment that in there. Yeah, I can. Wow. R-A-P-P. I can't see the rapport. There we go. Yes. Rapport. Yeah. Rapport. There we go. What is rapport? Anyway, yeah. So rapport, the way that we teach it anyway, and this is a good thing for you guys to know, it's a great it's a great way to unconsciously build a connection to people. Relational currency or connection. Right. Marla, did you look that up? Because that looks like a pretty, I don't know what the word is.
So Webster's.
Yeah. That looks like a real definition.
But it is, because what happens is you've obviously heard the term birds of a feather.
Yeah.
Right? Flock together. Well, what we can do this unconsciously, and a lot of us do. Like, that's why, in my opinion, is that why when someone yawns, you yawn.
Yes.
Right? It's a trigger because you're trying to unconsciously create rapport.
Yeah.
So the thing is that you have to, if you know this, you can actually consciously attempt to subtly build rapport with people that you meet.
Yeah.
And certainly the more familiar a person might be to you in terms of people, places, things, or experiences.
Yeah.
Right. The more closely people feel connected with each other.
Well, let's look at this example. I'll share an example with you guys. And this is just because we have a couple of people that are in India on our show today. When we were in India, every time I walked by another person on the road or the street, whatever, I would say, namaste, right? And the kids would get annoyed with it. Mom, why are you saying namaste to everybody? It's like, well, first of all, why wouldn't
Why
I?
not?
But it's to me, it was a very easy way to build rapport with people that you didn't speak their language, right? Namaste, they understand because that's their language, right? So it's a form of greeting, right? So I would just say namaste, namaste. They'd always reply namaste, you know? And to me, it was just that creating that instant connection with people. So why wouldn't I do that? So
Well,
that's a form of rapport, right?
and you can do that here too, like just
Absolutely.
saying hello to someone, that because people aren't used to that
Yeah.
when you go out and about, grocery stores, whatever. Just people saying hi, you know.
Okay, so we have Marianne and Lori having a conversation here, and they're both talking about how terrible they look in the morning. So I think they're fearful of this idea if we brought people on video.
Is that meaning that you would need notice?
You'd need some notice
Some notice.
that we're going to do such things. Yes, well, that's why maybe we should bring Marjorie in. That's what Marjorie was saying. Oh my God, I just woke up and my hair's terrible. We don't care. Whatever.
See, my hair's back. It's normally down, right?
Yeah, he just pulls it back. It is. That's right. It is normally down. You're overdue for a trim too.
I know.
Actually.
Yeah, it's time.
Big time. Yeah. Oh, you would still pop on. Well, we're gonna chat.
Excellent.
We're gonna hold you to that, Lori. Yeah, we're gonna hold you to that. Yeah. So rapport.
Yeah, but this ties nicely into the idea that we probably should start thinking about how similar we actually are.
This is true.
Because when we look at the world today, a lot of what we see out there is designed to show us how different we are and that we should be fearful of those differences, which is such a load of crap, right? It really is, because we all technically breathe the same air. We're all in the same atmosphere. We're all under the same sun, same moon.
Yep.
Right.
Well, even that's debatable. I don't know, but
let's not get too crazy here with our simulation, folks. Yeah. But it's me personally, I think it's time we start trying to figure out how similar we actually are.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because it's the differences that have caused a lot of what we've got going on, because it's easy to polarize ourselves with narratives that are fabricated and manufactured for that specific purpose.
Yeah.
So the challenge is in us saying, how similar are we actually? Because I guarantee that it doesn't matter where you exist on the planet, that we've all experienced A, trauma for starters, and B, a lot of experiences that people have in other parts of the world are exactly the same experiences as we would have here. And it's just a different language.
Yeah.
You know?
Same shit, different day. You know, everywhere you go, there you are. Right?
So,
yeah.
You know, I think this should be our challenge, right? For everyone that is listening and going to listen to, is get our heads into the idea of how similar we actually are. Because what we've come to learn over certainly our relationship, but when we can meet people at a place where there's comfort because there's similarities and there's mutual respect, massive relationships can form. Right? Like we've traveled all over. I know Mar and Brian, they've traveled all over, and you guys and us, we've created some really great relationships in very different parts of the world.
Different cultures, totally different languages, like totally different belief systems even, totally. You know? Yeah. But it's because you find a place where you do have that rapport, right? You find that place where you do have that similarity, you know, and a mutual respect for one another.
And guess what, right? Marianne?
Yeah.
right? When we do the next coffee time that we do that has everyone on it, we can all be similar in our dishevelment.
Yes. If you
From
want, I
wake-
can muck my hair up for you or
from
something.
waking up.
Yeah. If Kevin would have let me sleep in this morning, I mean,
We wouldn't be here.
yeah, well, we would have been way late. But yeah. So smart ass.
It's true.
Yeah.
No,
But I
no.
mean, you know what? This even applies. Oh, here we go. But this even applies with the conversation we were having with your parents last night. It was really about finding that place where you can come to. It's not even a place of agreement. It's a place of mutual acceptance, I think, probably. Wouldn't you say?
Well, see, here's the other element to this, right? So, in addition to rapport, we as humans have a certain way that we like to see our world. And when we think about this, like super closely, we have our.
See, Marianne just said it. Take me as I am. I don't need to impress anyone.
Totally.
Yeah.
So the thing is that we have this idea that what we actually say, is correct. And you know what? That may be for you. The interesting thing about communication is that we all have a way of interpreting our world. So when we get into the nitty-gritty of things and understand things like internal representation systems, as well as the concept of primary representational systems, meaning if someone's a visual person, they're going to process their world visually, and then they're going to use visual language in order to express that world from what they've got. If someone's an auditory person, they're going to do it in an auditory fashion. They're really good at hearing and remembering things that come in auditorily, right? And there's also kinesthetic. Ava's very kinesthetic. So when she gets information from the screen, which is visual and auditory, she has to take a lot of notes because that's the kinesthetic action.
I have to write it. I like to write it down because I feel that I'm able to process it, and I even recall it better if I've written it down. Like even when I was in school, maybe some of you were like this. Let us know in the comments if you were, how you process information. But for me, I would literally write almost verbatim every single thing that I was taught when I was in college anyway, because that's how it was like a photographic memory when I did it that way. Right. Unfortunately, it isn't as effective now as it used to be. But I mean, it would be. I could literally recite like photographically, accurately, exactly what I had written down when I was doing my notes for study.
So the act of writing is the kinesthetic side of receiving information. So you have this base level, but then you also have all of your belief structure and everything that is a result of your entire life, right? Which translates into your filters. And all of that, of course, gets run through your experience of your world. But the interesting thing is that when you have a discussion with someone, if you have a visual person that is expressing their world and you have a kinesthetic person that is expressing their world, you may be saying the exact same thing, right? In two different ways, because one's in visual language and one's in kinesthetic language. So you could be saying it's the skill of those people that are communicating to say, holy shit, we're actually saying the same thing.
Just slightly different language, slightly.
And as an example, if I say, do you see what I mean?
I might say, no, I'm not feeling that.
I'm not feeling that. See the language change?
Yeah.
Or if I say to a kinesthetic person, what's your sense of it,
Mhm.
then that is in their language to process.
Then I might be able to answer that a little more effectively, that question like
Mhm.
that. Lori's making a good point. She'll write down her grocery list. So even if she forgets her grocery list, she may remember it better because she's written it down. So you're
So
probably a little
kinesthetic.
more kinesthetic, Lori.
Mhm.
And Marianne's saying that she studied tests by singing them. So I would say that you're probably more auditory, right? Auditory, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
Verbal.
for sure.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is where we have to go sometimes. And even this scenario works with models of the world.
Yeah.
So someone that is of a certain worldview could be saying A, B, and C, and someone of a different worldview may also say A, B, and C, but because they have different worldviews, they might initially interpret
Isn't that a
things.
song? ABC. I think that's the Jackson 5 sang that or something.
But
Anyway.
but even though they're of a different worldview, they might be saying the exact same thing.
Yes.
All
And
right?
that's what I was beginning to say when I was beginning to talk about what we had this conversation with Kevin's parents last night, right? Because they how do we say that? Well, they're very grounded in their Christianity, right? And so we're kind of a little bit outside that. It doesn't mean we're against it. It just means we're a little outside that, right? So we were kind of comparing.
That just has to be okay.
Yeah, and so in our long conversation last night, we were just kind of comparing sort of language, really, how we describe things. So we might call it meditating, but they would call it prayer, you know? But in our world, I just kind of think it's all the same. I don't have to differentiate between prayer is what I do as a Christian and meditation is what I do as someone who's not a Christian or something. I'm not really sure, but yeah. So I mean, it was just, and we were realizing, they were realizing as we were describing how we may, focus on something, how we may visualize and meditate, and different experiences that we've had that we believe were very divine, right? Experiences. They would reply with, "Oh, so you're saying fill in the blank," but they had to say it in their language to comprehend it to process it so that they could comprehend it from their perspective. But it's really saying the exact same thing that we're saying, just from more of a
with different language.
With different language, yeah.
But
it's really the same thing.
So here's the issue with people.
There's an issue with people? No, wait. I gotta have a sip of coffee if we're gonna be. Yeah, so.
And of course, I don't want to focus on it, but it's an observation, right?
Yeah.
And the observation is that the more, and we're all guilty of this, every single one of us, because the more invested we get in our specific worldview or experience, whatever it is, it doesn't matter, education, the more invested, meaning time, money, emotion, right? We are in a certain thing, the more we will defend it and the more we will try and rationalize everybody else's behavior around us in terms of that, right? So the problem becomes is when we are stuck in our beliefs and our worldview and our investment in a position or a perception that says you can't be fill in the blank unless you are like me, right? So here's an example. You can't be a good person and do good things in the world, right? You can't possibly do that
Unless
you are fill in the blank.
Yeah. Unless you're a Christian who goes to church, right, and
or a Muslim
accepts
or a
Jesus
Hindu or a Jew, whatever it is, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Does not matter.
Yeah. Everybody will fill in the blank based on their belief system. Right?
So if you're at that stage, then I would suggest you think twice and ask yourself, how is it that that person can't be a good person and do good things in the world without that which I think is the most important, right? Because that, what I think is the most important is only your perception of things.
Is this making sense, by the way? I hope we're not like, confusing you or talking in
No, it's a
talking
heavy,
in different language or something.
it's a heavy topic. It really is.
You think so?
I think it is, because it really, like, we have to challenge ourselves and we have to challenge other people. Well, we don't have to challenge other people, but
You
just,
like to.
just by nature of being ourselves, we challenge other people. 100%.
Just by nature of being a Kevin, he has to hit people over the head with a sledgehammer of what he believes is truth. And
No, but if you're at the stage where you're open to being incorrect,
yeah,
right? And I've said this before on these of course,
we're
these
open to being
shops,
wrong.
for sure.
I'd love to be wrong about a lot of things, that I think, honestly, I'd love to be wrong. That'd be great.
But think about things in terms of openness and closedness, because usually, and this is just a usually from my observation, is when someone is super invested in a perception of things, they will fight to the death to maintain that perception.
Sometimes literally, by the way, literally to the death.
Even if that means death.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the point is that if we maintain a closed view, or we get to a point in ourselves to say, this is the way it is.
Yeah.
There's nothing more, nothing more to learn. I am at the pinnacle of knowledge.
Yeah.
This is the only way this is.
Yeah.
If we are at that,
Okay, we're back. Please let us know if you can see us, you guys. I don't really know why that happened at all. Maybe we were getting a little too crazy with our topic. I don't know. Oh, shit happens.
So this is the thing, right? Okay, excellent.
Yay.
So the point is that if we think that we have all the answers, we are sadly mistaken. Hate to say it.
Well, you do learn from being wrong, and there's great value in getting those lessons, right? And I think what Kevin's trying to say is that when you close yourself off to any other possibility other than just what you believe and that is it,
that's it,
right? Then it does sort of limit your your options, really, and the opportunity to learn something new, right? To be open to learning something new. So
remember, Marianne, even stronger than the fight for survival is the fight to keep things familiar, even if it is familiar in terms of your messages that you choose to receive that support your invested perception and perspective on things.
Holy crap, Kevin! Like, I think you need to unpack that a little bit, dear Lord, and
but what's familiar? Think about that.
Right.
People like comfort.
Yes.
Right, which is why sometimes when
I like to be uncomfortable.
When winter shows up, we say, "God damn, I wish I was in Mexico." Right.
But then when it's really hot in the summer, we go, "Oh, I wish it wasn't so hot." Oh.
Okay, people like to be comfortable, for sure.
We do.
So the point is that when we say to ourselves, this is all there is. What happens is we psychologically shut off. We stop. We stop looking for things. We stop being open to other information. And like I said, you might as well go under a rock. Because if we think for a second
No more learning to do.
that
No
we
more.
friggin' know it all,
Yeah.
or this way that I've come to learn is the only way,
yeah,
right? Guess what? I'm open to being wrong. Show me.
Yeah.
Right? What if? And here's the funny thing is, and a lot of people that are listening to this probably get the concept that a lot of our current world has been highly manipulated.
Manufactured.
Yeah, including all the information.
Mm.
And we're not talking about a couple of years.
No.
We're talking about millennia. Right? Things have been manufactured and I don't want to say contrived, but I guess contrived is a good word. In order to produce a specific narrative that we can now tell everyone that that is the way it is. And we have to think that people with egos and agendas are behind this. Okay? So if we have a table full of information and we pick and choose what's on that table because it will get us what we want in the end, then there's a problem with that, I think, because it discounts all the other information that's on the table, as long as it's contextually relevant. So when stuff gets created, and everybody that's here and is going to watch this knows the last 4 years of shenanigans.
No.
Right?
What are you talking about? In my world, everything was perfect. Everything.
You just think about what we've experienced.
Yeah. But again, it's really what you focus on.
That's right.
And
in the end.
Yeah.
And you also get what you focus on.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can certainly focus on everything that was wrong about the last few years, but I like to look at all the great people that have come into our lives.
Oh my, spectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It brought a lot of us together, and that was quite apparent when we did our talk last week, because it brought little factions, we'll say, of people together that hadn't obviously been together since we stopped, since we left town basically, and weren't doing our gatherings anymore and stuff. So it was just, and people seemed to be really happy to be brought back together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy for us to say, well, why didn't you guys just keep getting together? Like, you didn't need us to do that. But sometimes it takes people who, take charge, I guess, and have the initiative to do those things and
bring people together.
Yeah.
And we're okay with that.
We're okay with that.
So, Marianne, I'm not okay with history being erased. I would agree with that.
No.
Right? And I would like to.
But what's history? That gets into the deeper question.
That's the real question.
Yeah.
Oh, Gerald's coming in for a live.
Gerald, you want to be our,
Come
guest? Come on.
Come say hi. Gerald is here. He's our great.
Oh, we're back again? Are we back? No, it's the wrong camera.
Oh, a little bit,
Just a second, guys. We got the wrong camera going on. Kevin, how do we change that? Settings?
I guess so.
Oh my goodness. Kevin went and moved the camera, you guys. It's all his fault. Where is it? Is it not connected? What's going on here? What do we need to... There we go. There we go. Logi. We're having some real technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on here. It's all Kevin's fault, though. So
That's good. We're still here.
we'll just be clear on that.
We're still here.
So they hear us. They
Okay,
see
Gerald,
us
come
now.
say hi.
too. Come say hi,
Come say
Gerald.
hi. Stick your face in there.
Hello, folks.
This is Gerald. See, when we were just
Good to see
saying,
you.
when we were just saying that during the COVID stuff, there was good that came from it too. And Gerald and Marjorie, who are good friends, that was some good that came from it.
Spectacular.
Yeah, they become great friends, right?
Yeah.
I would say we're pretty close.
Yeah.
You know, we don't agree on everything, but
Clocks to my mouth.
they let us just basically, show up and say, "Hey, we're taking over your
Computer
office and we're going to do our
our
show."
show.
Okay, it's that kind of friendship. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good
But
thing.
Marjorie did comb her hair for us when she got out of bed.
She
so I don't know. I said, why
did.
did you do that?
She
Like, you
did.
didn't have to do that for us.
Yeah, so we were talking about the history, Mary. Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
right?
See, here's the interesting thing about history is how far back do you think you want to go?
Kevin,
What?
what do you mean how far back?
No, but I want to I want to truly know what Marianne's concept of history is. How far back for her history is defined. Right? The
Mm.
true history, yes. So the true history
Mm.
of what? You know? The true history of what? The true history of humanity? The true history of planet Earth? The universe, etc. Because the answers are out there, Neil. They are. And
But we can't truly know, really. We can't truly know unless we go back in time and re-experience those events, I suppose. But even then it could be contrived as, well, no, that's just all in your mind, or that's you're just
that's
making
where
that up.
that's where it lives.
In
It
our
lives in every
mind.
cell. Right? The problem becomes is when entities, people with egos and agendas say, don't look over there, look over here. Right?
Right.
That's the issue.
You
So-
tell them, Neo.
So yeah, so the answer's out there, Neil, because there can't be a question in your mind that exists without the answer already being available.
Did we go to the moon?
Did we go to the moon? Gerald, you're being a
Oh,
troublemaker
he's
this
being a
morning.
troublemaker this morning.
Do we have to have the moon discussion this morning? Did we go to the moon or
Or
not?
not.
I'd be interested in knowing what people who are watching think. Did
Okay.
we? Do you think?
If
Do you
you-
believe we went to
If
the
you
moon?
think we went to the moon, put a yes in the comments.
Oh, they're not going to stop at a yes. We've got Lori and Marianne and Lisa's on here. They're going to want to tell us what they really think, right? So yeah, there's actually more than them on here. It's just that's the ones we can see. And on that note, I'm just going to take a second here and look at my phone and see if there's comments that we're not seeing, which I know there are. Carry on, Kevin. Carry on.
So this is the point, though, is if we're open to potentially knowing a different story, for me, I don't like half truths. I don't. It
Yeah.
freaking bugs the shit out of me. Oh, no, we did not go to the moon. Yes. Well, guess what? And here's the point. This is the question. What if everything people have been led to believe, and I have to say it that way because that's exactly the way it is.
Yeah.
Led to believe, which means one thing and one thing only, is that we're not leading ourselves. that some other thing, person, entity, whatever out there is taking responsibility for leading us, as opposed to us just looking in the damn mirror. So
I just wonder
what
though, if we're going to just take another minute here and explore this did we go to the moon thing. What I want to know is it really that important? Is
who
it
cares?
Is it really that important whether or not we went to the moon?
Maybe to the moonies.
Maybe to the what?
Maybe to the moonies.
To the moonies. Oh my God. I think that me personally, I mean, this is my sense of it, is that the reason that idea that we didn't go to the moon might be important is because then that's just been a massive lie that we were fed, right? And led to believe that we did go if in fact we didn't go. So I think that's the real issue here, is that they went so far as to create some, fake moon landing in order to do this psyop.
But
And
think about what was
against
going
humanity.
on politically
Yeah.
at the exact time when that was supposed to have happened.
Right.
Right? The Russians had launched Sputnik, so they were first in space, apparently. Again, we don't know that if that's true. And then it was this was a race.
Yeah.
It was a race to see who could potentially do that first. And of course, what's really, really good at bringing people together in celebration, like a football game or something other silliness like that.
Oh yeah.
Is,
No, wait. Tyson and that other dude doing his big fake wrestling match.
Whatever, boxing.
Oh, or boxing. I mean, I was, yeah.
Yeah. So this is what was going on. So the U.S. needed to have something to grow national pride because Russia had won the trip to space. Mm-hmm. Now we have to do something that's even bigger. So,
that could be why. Yeah. It could be why.
But it just amazes me.
I agree with you, Marianne, though. That's where I'm at. To me, it's more about it was all just a big lie. And, yes, for what purpose is the question, but also, like, that's just wrong. Don't be lying to me like that. Don't be lying to all of humanity and claiming that you did this big, fantastical thing that you didn't actually do, right?
Did you know that there was a full Syrian town in Kentucky?
Oh my goodness, Kevin! Seriously,
that was used as a movie set to show bombings, etc., in the Middle East. And did you know that?
Like, honestly, Gerald, it's like Rabbit Hole Friday or something. Seriously.
Did you also know that there has been recycled crisis photographs used for different purposes and different crises or crises?
Okay, so for what purpose are you going there right now?
Well, we're talking about whether the moon landing was real or not. That's okay. A lie.
But we're talking like we're preaching to the choir here. These are people who are awake and are aware that there's been a lot of these kinds of shenanigans. To use Kevin's language. So you got to speak his language so we have rapport, right? So to speak his language.
Anyway.
We know all these things.
So we do. So what do we want instead?
Yeah.
And how do we build rapport so that we can actually learn about how similar we actually are?
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, I want to know who on here that's watching thinks that Kevin should grow his beard out like a Gandalf beard, so he could actually do that, like pulling down of the beard while he's thinking. Who thinks that would be cool? I kind of think it would be cool. I mean, I'm willing.
Whether or not I'm willing to tolerate it.
Yeah. Why not?
What do you think, Gerald? Shall I do the Gandalf beard
Even
thing?
Just the fact that he's got this, to me, like, is a miracle because this man never would have had a beard.
Hurrah!
18 years ago. No way. Like that idea. Oh, so Lori's, there's one vote for Kevin growing his beard out.
Getting some support here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
We'll see.
We are only good for the money. Well, the left. You're pulling the hair.
Well,
See, this was going to say, I think it's time for me to cut some of my hair off because it's really long and I find it gets in the way. When it gets this long, like this long it's ever been in my life. I don't know if you guys can see, but it goes way down. It gets caught in my underarm sometimes. I'm serious. It gets caught in my underarm sometimes. And I'm like, oh, I'm pulling my own hair with my underarms. It's so annoying. I'm just being honest. It's very annoying sometimes.
He doesn't like the fact that her hair might be shorter than mine.
I don't want my hair to be shorter than yours. I think
my hair is nowhere near.
Yeah.
Nose wears nears. The length of hers.
So. But it just doesn't seem right. I'm a woman. I don't care. I'm a woman. I shouldn't have hair that's shorter than my husband's, but whatever. Or when you're lying on it while sleeping and go to move, it hurts and wakes. Oh my God, it's so true, Lori.
I'm constantly like adjusting on the pillow. Yeah.
Pulling my hair up all the time off my neck when I can. It's anywho's, I'm thankful to have hair. So what are we focusing on, right? We need to focus on what we're thankful for. I'm thankful I still have all this hair. I have very thick hair, or I used to. It is quite a lot thinner than it used to be. You know, it's very gray, but I'm very thankful that I have hair. So no complaining. Can't complain.
No.
Right? Because there's people that don't have hair that wish they had hair.
That's right.
Like you just can't win.
Or you have to arrange it, you know?
Yeah, you have too much hair, not enough hair. I don't want hair, I wish I had hair. It's like
you want what you don't have.
That's pretty typical. Typical. Yeah. Lori's thankful she's not bald yet. It used to be thick, but it's so thin and almost gone. I think it's hormones, honestly. Well, of course, it's partly hormones, but anyway, we don't need to get into that
but
conversation.
the truth of health and wellness is also around the corner, right? It's coming.
I believe it is. And I think Gerald is onto something here. If you guys can see, we're not going to touch the phone or the computer again because we might lose connection again.
We're in frequency room.
We're in the frequency room. He's got all of his frequency devices. And all,
spookies.
Oh my goodness. He's like the frequency man. This man is like, seriously. He might as well start his own clinic at this point. He's got so much going on over there.
That's right.
Yeah. But I'm going to give him a chance to test on my knee. Okay, Joe, you test on the knee.
And you see this little band?
Yeah.
That's a metallic band that he's imprinted allergy frequencies on.
So histamine.
So a histamine, right?
It is helping because your eye's improving.
Yeah.
It is just sitting
there.
there.
Here we go. We're getting serious now, Gerald.
Oh.
Ready? Which knee?
This one. Are we going to treat it while we're in the show? Okay.
Okay, so we got red light therapy.
It'll go through my pants and everything.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's a frequency.
True. This is true. Why the heck weren't we doing that all the time?
Can you see the red glow now?
No. Okay, let's see. See if I can regrow that pad between my two bones in my knee. That's what I need. The cartilage.
Oh, what's going on here?
The springs here.
Yeah. Unfortunately my knee is bone on bone at this point. Whoa. Oh, Dr. Ho. Dr. Ho for varicose veins. That's what she said. Dr. Ho. No, she said she's been getting her mom to try Dr. Ho for her varicose veins.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I got varicose veins too. Unfortunately, it's been years now. But
there we go. Look at that. It's more direct.
The way the veins work, just so you know, you need that pressure of the muscles pumping, right? To keep that blood pumping up. So
check valves that fail.
Yeah, and the valves will fail and because chronic inflammation, right, causes that too. So very important to look at diet, but I think still everything begins and ends at the energy or the frequency level, honestly, right?
For sure.
So we got to consider that in our overall well-being, right? So I almost died last time I got it colored. Menopause sucks. Oh dear, my goodness. Yes.
Yeah. So
natural healing is good.
Yeah, lots coming down the pipe. I think we're in a massive truth dump coming up.
Who gets that sense? I'm curious.
Or that we're already there.
Or that we're already there, yeah. That we're the exposing of truth, right? Is not
the exposing of the lie.
Yeah.
In the light of the truth.
Yeah. There's been a lot held back from us, for sure.
But this is the point, right? So here's the question. are we open to that possibility, or are we closed because our circumstance or our perception, right, including our worldview, is so closed that we can't accept any information that could potentially be different than what we have come to understand or learn?
And on that note, by the way, this is water. I am not drinking wine at 10:30 in the morning or 11, whatever it is.
Why?
This is my good Kangen water. This is the only water that we drink. Kangen water.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
I drink the wine. She uses the bottle. So
yeah, he's the wine drinker, not me. So yeah,
yeah. So this is about pulling the curtain,
yeah.
but we have to be willing to pull the curtain.
You mean like on The Wizard of Oz? Is that what you're referring to?
Mhm.
You know, I never understood that movie back then. Isn't that funny that we watched that movie thinking it was just some cutesy little movie of these three people going on an adventure together? But I didn't put those pieces together. I was full on like adult, and not just adult. I mean, it was really just in the last probably 15 years that it was like,
Actually, even less. That it was
oh,
truly
shit.
deciphered in terms
Yeah.
of themes within that movie.
Yeah.
MKO.
Yeah.
Oh, and you watch it now and it's like, oh my God. Oh my God, it's so obvious. But let's face it, we were kids, for freak's sakes. Like, we didn't know.
Just a cutesy movie.
Just a cute little movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but wow, the truth in The Wizard of Oz, my goodness. Watch it now if you haven't in many years, you guys. Seriously,
But I
watch
mean,
it.
at the end of the
You'll be
day,
blown away at the messaging in it.
like, we have to do these self-check-ins every now and then, right? And say, okay, well, am I okay,
Yeah,
going to be okay, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever, if
yeah.
what I have come to learn or believe is either a part truth or not true at all?
That's called being open. Yeah.
Like, what if?
It's true, Marianne. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's kind of like that moment in the Matrix movie where once people realize what is really going on and realize that they're living in these pods and they're running these characters over here in the simulation, I guess is what it is, right? With their minds. Once they realize that truth, they can't unsee it. They can't unrealize it. So they have to leave.
Here's an
They
exercise.
have to get out because
Here's an exercise
they
for
won't
you.
be happy to
And
stay in
we'll
the
prove
pods.
this without
You're
question.
talking over me while I'm trying to speak.
Hey, no, but listen to this. Who has ever seen a Federal Express van? Who's ever seen it? Most people are
Of course we
familiar
have.
with a Federal Express delivery van. It used to be Federal Express. Now it's FedEx. Has anyone noticed the negative space that's created by that FedEx? Okay, look at it. Between the E and the X in the center is an arrow. That's negative subliminal space.
What's it supposed to mean, Meister Kevin?
An arrow.
Okay.
Delivery.
Right.
It's like the Amazon smile. It's just a smile. No, it's an arrow from A to Z.
Yes. Speaking to your unconscious mind.
It's speaking to your mind.
Yeah.
Once you see the FedEx negative space arrow, you can never unsee it. And every time you see that logo or that word, FedEx, you will always look at that first.
Yeah. Oh, there's no question. With all those things, the
Mhm.
subliminal messaging is absolutely real,
Yeah.
right?
Look at it.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah. But there's a reason for that. And I mean, the thing is that that's understanding the mind, right? That's understanding the power of the mind. And that's why, you know, we understand those things because that's what we teach, right? But we use it for good, you know? So all these techniques and stuff like can be used for bad. They can be used for psychological operations against the people, right? They can be used for nefarious purposes, you know. But the reality is that we're all living in a trance all the time, pretty much. Because
But what you're saying right now
Yeah.
is about the intention behind the use of whatever tool.
Yeah.
Right. And I've said this before, is that you
Yeah.
could have a loaded gun on the table with the safety off and no trigger lock,
Yeah.
and it can sit there for a billion years
And nothing would happen.
and nothing would happen with it.
Yeah.
Right. It's not until the intention behind picking the gun up and doing whatever with it
Mm-hmm.
is actually coming to the gun.
Well, I just know that some people, MK Ultra, that's right, Marianne. Like, I know some people, they get a little nervous when you say, oh, you do hypnosis, you put people into trance, you do neurolinguistic programming. Oh, it's like, guys, you're being programmed every damn minute of your day. Like, their media programs you. All forms of media program you. You just don't realize it. It only takes seconds to get into trance. So as soon as in front of a screen, so as soon as you're in front of a TV screen or a computer screen or a phone screen, it's literally seconds, and you're in that altered state that is going to allow suggestible material to come into your information, to come into your unconscious mind. The thing is, you just don't realize it. You don't realize it because you're in that state all the time.
Right, but here's the thing. Is if you have 10 different forms of media,
yeah,
that are quote unquote your trusted sources,
yeah,
and you hear the same message 10 different times, guess what? It's actually proven that you need 8 sources, and the CIA, in fact, did these studies. You need 8 exposures from trusted sources that you would trust. So it might be 2 or 3 times on the news, and then we're talking about it at the hair salon, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
The point is that the more you expose yourself to it, and you know what? We're all, I want to say, guilty of it in certain ways.
We've all been victims of it.
But we've all been victim of it for starters.
Yeah.
The question is
that's another way we have rapport, by the way.
Right. We've all been traumatized.
We've all been traumatized by the same.
But if you're in a mind space of searching for truth, then you will never stop asking the questions about, is this real? And that's why I mentioned the Syrian town and the recycling of photographs from other crises, because people have gotten to the point where they have forgotten about those events. And lo and behold, right, there's no way for people to verify whether or not that in fact picture is true until someone goes digging for it. So if media currently is recycling traumatic photographs, it's for a purpose.
It triggers your unconscious mind
It's for a purpose.
as, oh, that's familiar. But you're not consciously thinking this. This is unconscious. Your unconscious mind it feels familiar because it's recalling it, right? At the unconscious level. So it creates a rapport. Really, honestly, we're back to rapport, but it creates a rapport with the unconscious mind. So there's an unconscious acceptance of that, what you're seeing.
And then you get invested.
Yeah.
Because you've now listened to that bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? 8, 9, 10, 12, 14 times.
Yeah.
So now you're invested because it must be true because everyone's saying it.
Yes, exactly.
Right? So let's give our heads a shake for a
second.
second.
Even those of us who claim to be awakened, by the way, those of us who claim to only watch alternative media, there's a hell of a lot of alternative media that does not go deep enough, you guys, first of all. And they're just telling a whole lot of narratives too that maybe they have not well researched. Maybe they have been told fed a lie as well and not realizing or realizing.
We're all guilty of reading the headline and thinking that is what is in the article.
Yeah, like we can't just say, oh, but I watch only alternative media. Yeah, well, there's a hell of a lot of alternative media that does not do a good job. Or they're doing exactly a good job because they're trying to fool you as well. So I'm sorry to say you do need to be selective. And it's the same with us. Like our friend, he keeps saying, you have to define yourselves. You guys need to define yourselves. I know what it is. You're independent media. It's like, well, okay, if that's what you need to refer to us as. But I mean, I just try to be discerning. So that's why when people say, well, how do you know what's true? And I just go, well, I just trust what I feel. So,
And that's what's been missing.
and I just have to trust what I feel because there's
Because that's been
so
intentional too.
much information out there that it would just drive you crazy trying to figure out, well, what's true, what isn't, you know, and I just cut to the chase because I go, well, what feels right? Right. And I mean, you could say, yeah, well, you have a highly advanced intuition. Well,
We
no,
all
I'm
do.
just tuned into it. You know,
We all have that
I've
capacity.
definitely cultivated it and I've definitely nurtured it and developed it, no question. But I had to learn the hard way in my life to trust what I feel. Because when I went against what I felt, it always kicked me in the ass. Always kicked me in the ass. So I just trust what I feel. So that's where we come in, where we're just like, guys, like, let's do the work, like, do the personal work, do that work to clean out any of that baggage that you're holding on to, any of those things that are keeping you stuck in your.
What do you want instead, Marianne?
Yeah. So.
What do you want instead?
Yeah. So I mean, the more that we can do that.
I don't pay attention to any of those clowns.
That inner
no
work.
drama. I don't care.
The more we can do that inner work, then the better off we'll all be, because we'll be able to discern better what we know to be true. That's what I feel anyway. That's what I feel. That's what I feel. Is that
So we're
need
thinking
to be
that we
able to do
might
that.
start an initiative.
Oh, you didn't tell me this.
No, we have talked about
This
it.
is what he does. He drops
Local.
bombs on me all the time, and he
Yeah.
gave me no notice, nothing. He just boom.
No,
Like-
but we've talked about this as creating a visionary group.
Yeah.
Right, locally to start, but we can open it up to the country or the planet. That's fine.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be local at all.
Where we actually discuss what we want instead.
Okay, to be fair, we have discussed this, so I was aware, but I didn't know he was going to bring it up today. That's the problem.
But
That is the problem.
we need to have the discussion about what we want instead. Because until we define what we want instead, we're going to continue to focus on trying to move away from what we don't want, like this Bill C2, whatever the heck it is. It doesn't matter. So until we define that, so that we can create the vision and embody the feeling that comes with that vision.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to keep getting what we're trying to move
Well, and
away
I think
from.
this is where we get stumped. And I mean, even at our talk last week, because it was so important when we let everybody take their time to say everything that they knew was wrong, right, and what they didn't want. And then when we asked them, well, what do you want instead? That's where most people got stumped. Like, what is the vision of the future that you want? It's
No,
like,
but the biggest indicator of where people were at,
yeah,
was when I said, okay, that's great. We've gone through that exercise of everyone saying what they think is wrong or don't want.
Yeah.
But now we're not going to talk about that anymore.
yeah, yeah.
And everyone went, oh. I heard it. It was actually quite telling.
Yeah.
Because everybody, a lot of people wanted to remain in the crap.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They wanted to remain in the crap.
Well,
so
it's easy to talk about what you don't want, and it's easy to talk about what you don't like. In other words, complain, right, about what you don't like. I mean, that's an easy thing to do. I could sit here and think of a bazillion things that I could complain about.
Because the mind is programmed.
Like the weather. It's damn cold outside, you guys.
The mind is programmed to look what's wrong in our environment. It looks for that. And that's just part of our nature. We are also a self-regulating
There you go, Lori.
being.
Now create a picture with that.
Mm-hmm.
Peace, prosperity, respect, love, common sense. Ooh, common sense ain't too common, you know. So keep going and write it all down and then create a vision of it. That's what I would challenge you to do.
Or
right?
You can do the meditation I did 4 years ago.
And Marianne, you're still in the I don't want. I'm calling you out on that.
That's right.
Chippy,
there we go.
Because you've been on this, watching this show long enough to know that saying I don't want to be the government slave, you just told your unconscious mind that you want to be the government slave.
So here's one last lesson
be
about
mindful
this.
of that. Just be mindful of that.
Is that your mind doesn't know the difference between truth and non-truth. But when we say nots and won'ts and can'ts and shouldn'ts, it's negation. Okay, the mind doesn't recognize negation. So if I say, don't think of a blue elephant, don't think of a blue elephant. The very first thing that came into your mind was a blue elephant. I guarantee it. And the reason is that you have to come into that awareness so that you can not think about that. All right. So here's the point, is if we shift our language and start to be more cognizant of what we're thinking about and how it actually comes out of us, then we can be more intentional on how we express ourselves, because the unconscious mind, it's listening all the time.
Okay, so I'm curious about the conversation that's going on over here. First of all, Marianne says wars need to go. I absolutely agree.
Sure.
Yep.
But let's not focus on the war.
that's
Let's focus on the opposite of that.
which is the peace. And guess what? I would say that, yes, the wars need to go, but I truly believe in my heart of hearts that if all of us stopped being at war inside ourselves and with each other, then maybe that whole frequency of war just would not exist, because it just wouldn't, because there would be no, I don't what's the word I'm looking for? There'd be no place for it, right, on the planet, because people, souls, spirits, whatever you want to call us, human beings, would not be at war, wouldn't be at that frequency of war, which is a lower frequency, by the way.
And
Now
when
just
we
wait, just
focus on it,
let me finish what I started, mister.
Gerald, stop laughing.
Yeah. And I think Lori was challenging you about the blue elephant because she said it was purple, actually.
No, but you had to think of an elephant that wasn't a natural color, right? Your mind just gave you purple, right? Which is very close to blue.
It's
and
pretty
that is what
close.
it is.
Yeah.
Do I think Canada is a country? Does it really matter?
If you're talking about like if it's
Does it really
legitimately a country,
Why do countries exist?
I just don't bother myself with that level of thinking at this
Here's
point.
the point.
Honestly.
The border, the definition of a country, is set to divide us. Is it not? So how are we the same?
I'll still refer to Canada as a nation or a country, or
Right,
whatever,
as a
but-
frame of reference
Yeah.
geographically.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because folks know where Canada is, the US, whatever, Mexico, doesn't matter.
But as far as like, do I feel patriotic to Canada? Not really. I don't. Is that a problem? I'm not really sure, but I don't feel that sense of patriotism to being, I'm Canadian. I used to have that feeling, honestly. When I was younger, I did. Feeling it most like during things like Olympics or like Remembrance Day or, international events, I suppose, where Canada was represented. But I don't, I just don't. I think it's more because I feel like more at I feel like we're more at a spiritual or human, I can't explain
So when
that, more at a
someone-
human level. I just feel like we're all humans. So
When someone
does it
asks
really
me
matter?
where I'm
I don't know.
from, I say, well, my passport says I'm Canadian.
Yeah. Right.
I know what your question is asking. Do you think Canada is a country?
Yeah.
I know the intention behind
Yeah.
that question.
We get what you're getting at. Yeah.
Right? So
Would it not matter because we are here? That's what Marianne's asking. Like,
no. You know what? At the end of the day,
I don't know.
it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Because what we have to do is we have to start thinking in terms of similarities.
I think,
And it's okay to say, you know what? This is where we are. We are being of this place.
yeah, we're existing
Right?
in this
We're
place.
being of this place. We belong to this place in terms
Very
of
interesting
energy
to
right
hear
now.
you saying it like that. We are being of this place.
Right.
I haven't heard him say that before, but it's true though.
It's not to say that we belong anywhere.
Yeah.
We are right now in terms of, if you want to get into the Eckhart Tolle stuff and think about the power of now, what's your purpose? Is to be right here, right now, in this moment in time.
Right. Well, and just to address what Marianne said there, I hear you there. What I am learning about Canada is far from great. I think this is where we need to be
This is
specific.
information.
What do you mean by Canada? Because is Canada the place, right, that has the borders around it, like the actual physical location? Is Canada a feeling of nationalism? Is Canada the people, or is Canada the politicians? right? That are making the decisions here. Like, what do you mean by Canada? Because to me, I see it as, if we are going to say Canada, I think we need to look at it as we the people, right? So to speak, and we can make these generalizations and these general like statements.
But Canada's many things, right?
Canada is many things, but I think we need
Just
to
like every
clearly,
country, you could say, even the planet.
you need to clearly define what that is, what that means to you, I suppose.
So
right?
again,
But,
what do we want? Because Marianne, you're focusing on what you don't want constantly. I'll tell you that, because what you put there,
yeah.
right? I think the definition of Canada does matter because it gives them the card to eliminate us. Right? That's a pretty powerful statement. The
Yeah.
thing is that what are we focusing on? Because here's the lesson for today. The more we focus on a thing, the more energy we give that thing. That's it.
We get it, Marianne, what you're
we get
saying.
it.
We totally get what you're saying, is that
But
Canada
they're
is the elites.
obsoletes. They're not
and we are the-
elites. They're obsoletes.
Okay. Yes. We are seen as cattle. Yes, we are seen as just unimportant,
Useless eaters.
useless eaters.
Fill in the blank, whatever you want to call it.
There's all those things floating out there. Yes. Is there truth to those things? Sure.
But who says the opposite?
Don't own it.
Don't own it.
I just said don't.
Ooh,
So
take responsibility.
take
for it,
responsibility for it.
everything.
Yeah. And
right. But when you shift your focus,
Yeah.
if you do a 180,
focus on what
focusing
you
on what
want
you
instead.
want,
Instead,
and then
just
move
try it.
towards that.
Whenever you find yourself, Marianne, getting into that negative space of saying, well, they only think of us as blah. Well, okay, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a useless eater or a slave or a fill in the blank? Like try just changing it up, right?
We're not slave, but they don't know they're a slave.
Well, exactly.
No, and that's true. Because people get comfortable,
yeah,
right? In their uncomfort.
And the other way too, and I'm just gonna throw this out there, you guys. Like, I know we're getting into the heavy shit a little bit,
It's the heavy shit.
but I mean, the other way that we are slaves, and this is the most important way, I believe, is that we are slaves to our own thoughts and our own beliefs and programming that we are holding within ourselves. So, we need to get a handle on that, right? So
And guess what, Marianne? We are going to stand in the way of that bullshit.
yeah.
We are. Right?
Because Marianne says, I believe Canada has been sold out, and not us, just our resources are what matter, and we are in the way of that.
Yes,
Okay.
and we're going to stand in the way of that.
There's
Yeah.
room on the foot for the states to take us in.
Sure.
Right? So we are standing in the way, and we're going to stand in our power in the way of what the obsoletes think they have planned.
Yeah. They
right?
can plan all they want.
This is the lesson.
We have to decide that
the
that's
more
not
energy they need us to manifest their crap.
Mm-hmm.
They need us to acquiesce to manifest their crap. So if we say no, we're focusing on something else and we're going to do this over there and just not participate. We yank our energy. It's like a house of cards. And the more of us that yank our energy from that which they want, the less likely is that is going to happen. And the square root of 1%, do the math.
You've already done the math, so just tell them. You've already told them already anyway, just tell them again.
Right. So Canada has roughly 37 million. It's a mathematical proven fact that you only need the square root of 1% in order to focus on an energetic intention, something different that will actually physically affect the reality of the field that we experience. And that number for Canada is 608.
We have way more than that.
We got way more than that. So we're well past the tipping point.
But I think that what we said this last time too. What's missing is the focus on the similar vision.
We want.
Right? Focus on what we want.
Can we please do that?
Yeah.
Because that's what
Kevin said.
Because that's what we're going to create.
And Gerald's over there smiling because he agrees.
Because he knows.
He knows.
He
Yeah.
knows.
He knows the power of it.
We get what
Power
we
of the
focus
mind.
on, and more specifically, we get what we worry about.
Or
What-
afraid of.
Or are afraid of.
Yeah. And we, trust me, we get it. You know, we
We
get
understand there's lots going on. But if you're looking out here for what is wrong,
Yeah.
right, you're not looking in the right direction because that's where your focus is. It's this tree, it's that tree, it's this
All
tree,
you
it's
can
that tree.
control is yourself and what's inside you going on, right? That's what you're in charge of. That is what you are in control
We
of.
are the only self-regulating being on planet Earth right now that we are super aware of.
Mm-hmm.
We have the ability to decide whether or not we're going to focus on A, B, or C,
Mm-hmm.
and whether or not we're going to feel shame, guilt, fear, right? Or are we going to choose to feel love,
Yeah.
gratitude, abundance, compassion?
Yeah.
We get that choice.
That's right.
And it doesn't matter what circumstance we might find ourselves in, we have that choice.
You could be in the worst of circumstances and still feel completely at peace and feel completely happy,
We have that choice.
right? That's a choice, right?
So
we have to be regulating our own minds, our own power, our own energy, our own feelings and thoughts and things like that, you know, because you remember how powerful you are, really, and you're putting that out into the field, right? Like that's what you're putting out into the field.
Yeah.
So if you truly care, truly care the state of the planet and where it's headed, and this country, if you want, or whittle it down to your own friggin' town, whatever. If you truly care about where things are going, then change that signature that you're putting out into the field so that you can be contributing to the higher, you know, good, and to the contributing positively, I guess you might say, to the transformation of this planet, because that's what we need.
yes, we have contributed to this mess, Marianne. 100%.
And that's why once you're aware,
when you're aware,
you can change
you
it.
can now do something different.
But you got to change it in here first, you guys, in yourselves. You can't
If
be
you want
all.
to feel unity,
Yes.
if you want to experience unity,
Yeah.
feel unity,
Feel it.
feel unified.
Yeah.
First in yourself,
Yeah.
and then outside yourself. It starts here.
It starts in ourselves.
It starts here.
Have we driven that point home today?
I certainly hope so.
We're just going to keep driving that point home, you guys. You're in charge. You're in charge. You're in charge. Yeah. Well, and that's why you need to be the light, Marianne. If you're living in a place that you feel is
How many people exist there?
right?
How many people?
Be the light. Be
I have
the
a
light
question
there.
for you, Marianne. How many people exist there? Military or like regular folks or whatever?
Yeah.
How many? What's the population?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me. Because I'll tell you how many people you need at the square root of 1% for 110,000 people, which is probably not however many are there,
Mm.
right? If it's a small place, unless you're in like Edmonton and there's Canadian
I don't
Forces
think
base.
I don't think she's in Edmonton. She's in like Leduc or something, maybe. Or
But how many people?
I think.
So at 110,000 people, guess what the math works out to be? Square root of 1% of 110,000 people, right? It's 33.
14,000. Oh, that's easy.
33.
Yeah.
Let me do the math for you.
Oh, Kevin.
So
Dear
1% of
Lord.
that is 140.
The point is
No,
that
it's
you
14.
could find enough
Yeah.
people in your very close circle of friends, probably right in your town, even, that you guys could get together and start, you know, visualizing together, right? And share that collective energy and put that out into the field. Be the light, you guys. You can be the light. I know it sounds all frou-frou and like spiritual and all, you know, like, but it's really that simple. That's backwards here. What is that? Square root
The
of
square root of 140 people
is
is
11.8.
12.
12 people.
You need 12 people in mathematical terms to get together
Yeah. Just in your
And
own town.
just in your
Marianne.
own town and focus,
Yeah.
intentionally focused,
Yeah.
positive, loving
Raising
energy,
your own frequency.
raising your own frequency
Yeah.
in order to affect the field of that many folks.
Yeah. You
12.
you don't realize, like, I'm serious, you guys. I think you really need to get this into your, I say into your head, but really just bring this into your consciousness that you have that much power.
You do.
You truly, truly do. And if you want to get into like them, what they're really afraid of, they're afraid of the power that we have. That's why they've done so much to keep us down and suppress us and keep us disconnected and separated from even each other. Right?
Now is the time.
Now is the time. You know, our time is now. It's right now.
And right now.
And right now. Yeah. And
So
right
find
now.
a dozen people
in your town
and get together
yeah
and vision the future.
and like Kevin said earlier, we may start something where we do a regular vision online, right? That you guys could take part in if you want. We know the power of that, and we know there's lots of other people in the world that are doing these sorts of things, but we thought, why not start 1 and 2, you know, for
I'm pretty sure we can find 33 people
for
here
our
locally.
peeps. Oh, we'll definitely find that locally.
Yeah.
We used to have hundreds coming out to the talks that we
Mm-hmm.
organized. So, yeah. Well, we could do it. We could do it, you guys. Well, I believe it.
We can.
I believe in you.
Gerald's going to help.
Yes. No more fear.
That's it.
No more fear.
Time to let go of that shit.
I firmly believe that if everybody let go of the fear of dying, fear of death, then what would there be to fear, really? Really. If you let go of the fear of death and you know that you're immortal, because you are, your soul is immortal. Trust me when I tell you that's coming from someone who gets to talk to those souls on the other side.
That's heavy shit, though.
We don't die when this body croaks. So, I mean, that's a nice way to say it, isn't it? It's terrible. But anyway, so if you truly believe that you are a soul, not just this body, you are a soul, and that you do not fear death, okay? The fear of death is totally gone. And by the way, most people do have a certain fear of death. I mean, that's just reality.
Ribbit.
So if you no longer fear death, and you know and truly believe that you are a soul that is immortal, what the hell are you afraid of? Really? Ask yourself that question. What are you afraid of? Then you're unstoppable. You're completely unstoppable once you come to that place, you know? Wow. And if you need help letting anything go so that you no longer do fear those things.
That's heavy shit. That
is heavy shit, but we can help you with that, by the way. We're free agents now, by the way. Not free meaning we're free, but we're available. Just so you know, I'm just saying.
The heavyshitclub.com. Get into it.
DM me if you want more information. But I mean, the reality is that that's my sense of it anyway, you know, and that's just my sense of it. I'm not, you know, yeah, that's from my experience.
So we need to continue the conversation at another time.
Oh yeah, we could go on and on, but
she can go on and on.
Definitely. Oh, Kevin, stop.
Oh, Kevin.
I like having this red light on my knee. I will say that it does actually feel nice. Yeah. I can feel it. Yeah, doing some cool things in there. All right, so I think that we need to shut our mouths now.
Let these fine folks go.
Yes, we appreciate all of you being here.
Everyone.
And again, we are sorry that we don't get to see all the comments. I mean, we got to figure that out. What's going on with StreamYard? Why that's happening? You know, I have people actually private messaging me saying, I am here, but you can't see my comment and blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of annoying. But anyway, so that's our message for today, guys.
Well, are we going down to once a week now? Or are we gonna...
Well, you know what? We may have to go to once a week, you guys, because
we're kind of working out some logistics and stuff here.
Yeah, we're staying with Kevin's parents this month, and we're just.
But maybe if we talk really nicely to Gerald and Marjorie.
Maybe
like super nice.
They might let us become regulars over here. As long as we bring our own coffee, you know.
Yeah,
with enough notice next time.
We'll just make it my treatment time. It'll be my
right.
knee treatment time. Gerald can treat my knee, right?
Mhm.
We agree with you, Lori. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Have a great weekend. We appreciate the conversation as well. We truly, truly do. And if nobody has told you today, I'm going to say it. We love you.
Every one of
We
you.
truly do. Truly, truly do. So I hope you feel that from us.
Mhm.
And keep shining your light.
That's it.
Keep shining your light. So take care, everyone. And
TTFN.
for now, we will be here on Tuesday at 10, correct? If anything changes,
Well, we have to run
we'll
that.
let you know.
We will have to run that.
We have to run that by the big boss woman out
That's
in
right.
the other room
That's
there,
right.
Marjorie. She would have to have final say on that if
Yeah.
we, Okay, take care, everyone. And thanks for listening to us ramble. And thanks for your contributions, even if we couldn't see them. So your energy contributions just by being here and watching is certainly enough. So, okay. Love
Till next time.
you. Bye.